How you doing, guys? Just got done having like a California burrito with Roberto's, though, and I really got to thinking that there was a story on this guy about the guy who actually built Roberto's. And I find like different ways in my day to try to kind of find the motivation and to dig deep. And for anybody that's got any goals, a lot of us guys like grew up in Oklahoma City and, grew up like in the burbs or even the country towns. I'm talking like guys from the ghetto, guys from different countries, guys I've met all over the world, though, and it's been neat to meet all these guys. And once you see that they work hard consistently, you're willing to lend them your ear. I remember thinking, I was sitting there listening to this, I was listening to this guy. I was reading a story in Roberto's, and it was talking about this guy grew up like in central Mexico, and he picked up firewood, and then he went on and he quit. He quit like first grade, and the only thing I could really come up with is that, man, he was hungry as a kid. And I'm trying to figure out what we're teaching our kids. I'm trying to figure that out because I realized that life was a journey for me, though. I mean, I've been in some really bad situations. I'm talking about I've been in jail before. I've even court fines and all kinds of stuff, and it all went bad, though. And I don't want to get too much off story, though, with Roberto. With Roberto, he went over to San Diego, and then he started working for a car wash, and anyway, he started cooking tortillas and all kinds of stuff. And I remember thinking, though, I remember when I lived in San Diego, I got to see this guy quite a bit, his stores all over the place, though. And now I'm out in Vegas, though, and I've been in Miami. I've traveled, and I see Roberto's pop up, and I'm kind of like, this guy is doing the business. I've never read the guy's story, though, but I remember thinking that, he employs people. I remember thinking, though, also, I went to the gym this morning where I watched a big, giant-ass fucking building for the school system. What is it? I don't really know too much about the whole, that, but, the board members, and they got a huge ass building. And I remember thinking that, Robert Kiyosaki put it best, though, man. There are probably 3/4, if not more than that. If you ever read Forbes magazine, these people barely graduated fucking high school. If you really want to know where the fucking secret is, if you want above $70,000, you got to take a risk. I'm talking about it like this because I just quit my normal day job, and I'm working 4 hours out of the day, sometimes 4 days out of the week, though. I don't really get paid a whole lot, but I know this. I know I've given a 27-year investment in wrestling, striking, and all that, and I went insane. And people didn't know who the fuck I was. I'm talking about, I understand where Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, and all those guys, they go nuts, though, because you pour all of this hard work into a very fragile goal. For what? For yourself? Who'd you do it for? Did you do it I kept digging deep. Maybe I was doing it because my mom, she was my coach for so many years. Maybe I had the pain. Where did you dig? And I remember thinking, though, I give it up to anybody who's willing to attack a goal wholeheartedly, passion, and do it consistently. And if you fucking lose, and you lose big. But I know this. Somebody was telling me recently, a good friend of mine, she's like, if you want all the material things that life has to give, all you got to do is get a job. And That's the truth. But I also watch a lifetime of old ass men talking to me, sometimes at the gym and sometimes just getting coffee and sometimes whatever. But they got the winning recipe, although they're willing to go out to their car, and it's a normal ass car, don't get me wrong though, that's life for some people, but it's not for me. I would rather take a big shot. And is it worth being broke? And is it worth being hungry? You fucking ain't right. Because it takes a little bit, and it humbles you all along the way. Because the truth of it is that, you know what, I'm not a guy that normally asks for support or normally asks for help. Because it goes back to the old school days of like, you know, put these tap shoes on and entertain us, boy. That just ain't my motto about life, but I know that there has to be something. And I don't always like to be the one to like encourage people to get violent or whatever though, because you know what? I don't really like, I know that I kind of condone violence, but it's not really what it's for. I can tell you that truthfully that I know where I'm going, I know where I'm headed, I know I'm focused. I know I'm trying to get to the next level of things though. I always appreciate anybody who's got any goals or anything kind of going on. So all I can really say is that, you know, at the end of everything, after everything's all said and done, I'm going to be happy with what choice I made. And my worst backup plan that I'm ever going to do is say, hey, look, I got to go to the recesses of just a normal, average, everyday job. And you know what? Just as long as I took a shot at my goal, wholeheartedly. And yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie though, man. A lot of times though, man, like my feet hurt, this hurts, that hurts though. But you know what? Somebody used to tell me is, you know, a good rule of thumb. The chances are, if you set yourself up a goal and you start selling yourself reasons or excuses why you can't do it. Kind of like, you know what? By next year, I would really like to pounds though. Then you start saying, well, they got all this good marketing out there. Well, you know what? My husband this, or my wife this, she buys this. You know what? I'd much rather be this. You're absolutely right. You don't stand a fighting chance at all. But I can tell you this. Nobody knows if you're going to win or not. Nobody knows if you're going to lose or not. The truth of it is, it's all about the chances. Your chances greatly increase if you happen to put a goal out there. And I don't care what you see. I don't care if you're delusional in your thinking. Delusional meaning in a good way. Like delusional as in you see a goal, you see something else that nobody else sees. If you can keep selling yourself on that dream and a little bit getting to the competitive side and showing a little bit of results and keep going, you know what? And you're not always going to win. The champions, all champions don't win. Some champions, they get hit. They get stuck. Like, you do this shit long enough, like you're going to get hit. Especially like in fighting. Champion, my trainer keeps telling me, a champion is a guy that can get fucking hit, stay patient, circle out of it, and relax in there. Because all the guys that got money, that got some of the things though, that's just part of it though. That's not the main part of it. The part of it is this. They're good at communication skills. They know how to motivate people. And they get people behind them and support because they got the winning recipe. And guess what? When the winning recipe ain't fucking working, they get stuck in the mouth. Like any boxer or any fighter, they stay patient and they hold what they got because they got people dependent on them. At the end of the day, they got people that need to sign the paychecks and say, hey, the bank has the money. I'm good for it. And it's willing to be cashed. I'm not a coward, and I attack my goals, and I know damn well that it's worth it. But a lot of the times you got to ease up on people, man, whenever they're in the entertainment business, because this shit it'll run you ragged though. to me, it wasn't necessarily about a personality contest. I'm working on me. I'm working on a better version of me. But I can tell you, along my struggles, my travels, my trials and tribulations, if you got a question, ask me. I don't think people like pick on anybody worse than the other person. I just know this, though. If somebody's willing to put their stuff out on Front Street and allowed to be judged, though, man, they're just a normal, everyday person. They're just willing to fucking do more than 40 hours a week. And does that make them better? No. Do they deserve better things? You fucking A right they do. Because they work for it. And they push. All I can tell you is this, is that, you know what? Every goal is worth going for. People are going to have an opinion about your shit anyway. You know what? Get ready to get uncomfortable. If you get uncomfortable in a situation, all I can tell you is this. You're in probably the right place, because you're in the front driver's seat for change. Good, bad, whatever. I can tell you this. Even if you go to jail, guess what? Well, a guy like me, I have been to jail. I can tell you that, you know what? The world is willing to give you second chances, because this life is about just a journey, because you're not going to be able to take the money with you. You can't take all of it. You know what? Get out there. I can say get dirty. Get your clothes dirty. Get your hands real dirty. And all I can say is this. You're going to figure out some stuff. You're going to figure out how it works, how it doesn't work. You're going to figure out how people really are. Sometimes you might get under their skin. Sometimes you might have some feelings towards it. You might cry. You might be on just on your knees. But I guarantee you this, you'll experience life, and it'll be worth it. It's always worth it to me. I got great, wonderful relationships, consistent relationships now that I hold with people that I know that I'll have in my life 30, 40, 50 years from now. And I know that, you know, it's just a precursor to the day then whenever I have children. And my son or daughter needs to be picked up at school or whatever, though. You know, they say some of the best relationships you ever have are the business relationships, because they started out as a very small workup to a personal relationship. And then you're just kind of like, you know what, this guy's pretty trusting, though. I kind of like being around him. I don't really love to be around him, but, you know, business deals are born out of solid, really solid-ass relationships and personal relationships. I mean, think about it. Personal relationship, you can trust them with this, but whenever it really comes down to money, you're kind of like, if you can trust a person with money, you can also trust them with personal shit, though, because you're having to get upfront personal. Have to. It's about money. I'm not talking about money in a bad way. I'm not talking about greed. Anybody who's talking about money, or, you know, use it as a ring in their head, you know, goes off like, oh, we're talking about. No, I'm talking about the assets. I'm talking about you have to put money aside to be able to function as a legitimate business. Stuff where you gotta say, oh, well, if, you know, the lights go down, I gotta go buy a generator and I gotta, you know, keep it back up, or you know what, gas costs, overhead, stuff like that. I'm talking about keeping money for that, though. You know, overhead capital. So you can turn a little bit of profit, and you know what? I look at stuff like this. I'm very blessed, though, because at the end of my paychecks, after I have overhead and different little things I got going on, though, you know, I don't want to put my stuff out on YouTube and blast, but at the end of the day, if I can take my woman out to generally a dinner, because I work, you know, quite a bit. If I can take her to one decent dinner, though, maybe a movie, maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe every 3 weeks, though, then, you know, I'm kind of happy. You know, I'm doing good, though, because that's really all I got really time for, though, because I got so much shit in my head dealing with promoters, sponsors, my fighters, their promoters, and, you know, different little things, and agents, and, you know what, networking, and being able to, you know, kind of keep churning out some of the marketing deals. And the truth of it is that some of the money helps, though. I didn't really think that I ever wanted, you know, any kind of big time sponsor, but, you know, you start to get that sponsors help you, because if you got a message, your message should be clear. What do I condone? What's my message? You know, all I can tell you is this, though. If you're trying to meet a guy like me, all I can say is this. I'm a small town kid, 2 convenience stores, 1 stoplight. I was, born in Oklahoma City. I'm Jewish. I'm Native American. You know what? My mother coached me for many years. Coached me through a couple national titles. I kind of lost it during high school. Went back. I finished though. I did some other little neat things in between there that I don't really want to talk about just right off. But I went to college on a scholarship. I kind of lost my mind in college. I don't really want to hit on that. It's some bad stuff. Probably you'll find out sooner or later. But went on, battled alcoholism, battled some addictions and stuff like that. I was a pro fighter before I really started hitting the bottle and the drugs, kind of whatever. I go to AA meetings. I go to NA meetings though. I've got a couple of people that are on my team as far as a fight team. I help boxers, MMA fighters though. We run some nonprofit stuff from there. I got a clothing line. I help wherever I can. I'm not a rags to riches story. I'm not rich at any point in time. I can say that I got a solid foundation around me. And if I get involved with some other people that are, pretty cool about nonprofit, I say, neat, I don't know, as the sponsors come in though, the sponsors help with they actually help with some of the gas mileage, some of the gloves, some of the shorts, some of the other guys that I train. They helps with their blood work because we all get licensed and stuff like that. License fees, blood fees, HIV tests, Hep B, Hep C tests. We take a lot of tests though, and finally we kind of try to make a difference though. I can tell you this: once you fight, everything else is easy though. But it helps keep some of the cardio stuff though. I'm talking about some of the women that have been beaten before though. You give them little key things though. Some of my guys though, I actually take them under my wing and help them get a job, or help them with resume writing though, or help them filling out paperwork though when it comes to college though. It's all in a good thing though. But I can tell you though, a lot of the people, I've trained anywhere from cops to detectives to military to ex-convicts to gangbangers to high-end CEOs to whatever. It's kind of neat because I always call this a little kid sandbox, and it's weird because it takes a real special person to be a fighter though, and it's kind of an all-or-nothing sport though. Boxing, MMA though, wrestling though, man, you got to challenge yourself though. But we help give back though. But I know that it allows for the leaders. So to bring this story back full circle though, I see those guys at Roberto's, on the wall, and it makes it worthwhile because you get to see people doing their thing at an end result though. But right now, you're not really seeing the end result. You're seeing a guy right now that's kind of on the brink of being something big and dissipating. And I can't stay exactly where I'm at. I either got to go backwards or forwards, and I can say I'm still lucky and I'm blessed to be in the situation that I am. I've got a good mother, sister, and my nephews. I've got a really good trainer though. He's very solid, Jason Tafoya. I got some good people around me though. My girlfriend was a really good driving force though, driving my ass around everywhere, and some good supporters though, especially back from Kingston and Medill area. Get a chance to really see people's true colors though. And like I said, I don't really put too much stock in it though, because the thing about it is this: everybody's always going to have an opinion about something. You know what? You're probably going to meet a side of me sooner or later that you probably don't like. But you know what? Let's just be grown-ass human beings though. There's things about you I am not gonna like, though. I just don't point the finger, though. A lot of times, sometimes I will. I mean, if you happen to be around me, though. But the truth about it is this: on my particular end, there's things that you're not gonna like about me. There's things about me that I've made some mistakes in the past, and you know, I try to right some wrongs, and I'll realize that at any particular time, that it's my turn to get back, and it's my turn to stop the chaos, and it's my turn to lead a different path and a different life, though. And you know what? This lifestyle and fighting, and it allows me to do that, though. And it allows me to be a better person. I get to meet quite a few other people, though, and I get excited about that because they've traveled the same certain paths, though, or maybe they stopped shy of just doing something wrong. But anyhow, I just thought, I remember I always tried to chase a dream at first, though. So I'd read stories about Bugsy Siegel, though. Man, those guys were mafia, and I remember thinking, like, behind every good family fortune, there was some kind of like great crime done. And it's crazy because I've read some stuff that's, that doesn't prove that true, though, man. Because a lot of times, like, you had to go out and play for keeps, but there's different kind of currencies in the world, and I know that, with making mistakes, that's not the kind of currency I really need in my life, though. As long as I got, like, some solid foundation people, and the crazy thing is, it's easy as going up to somebody, guy or woman, though, because they see the hard work you do, though, and you normally don't ask for stuff, that if they say that they need help, then they probably do, though. But that's why God, or whoever your higher power is, though, that made us dependent on one another. It's a really neat way you get to share some feelings and different things. So as you keep building a solid foundation, though, sooner or later you may figure out, how to, save some money, put some money away, and provide a service or a product back to people. It might turn a profit, it might not, but it's all hard work in the end, though. And hard work's definitely what I'm going after. And if you like it, if you like what I had to say, thank you. And I hope you catch one of my future fights, though. But I appreciate your time, though, and I know it's a little bit long, but I gotta head off to practice. All right, take care, guys. Bye bye.